The Rook King. Biff, Wilma, Kipper and Wilf were going to a fancy dress party, but Chip wasn't. He hated fancy dress. You could be a clown, Wilma suggested to Chip. No thanks, he replied. So Wilma put the clown's hat onto Floppy's head. If you won't go, we'll take Floppy instead, she said. Fine, replied Chip. Why don't you want to go to the party? Asked Wilma. I wish he did want to go, so I wouldn't have to, thought Floppy. The key on Floppy's collar started to glow. Wilma, Chip, Kipper and Floppy were suddenly drawn into a spinning vortex of brilliant colours and lights. They were twirling round and round, faster and faster. Chip, Wilma, Kipper and Floppy were on a farm in the middle of a scrap heap. Kipper heard a funny noise and looked up. What's that? He wondered. Suddenly out of the sky swooped hundreds of rooks. The children were surrounded. One of the rooks was different. He wore a hat and carried a big stick. It was the Rook King. The children and Floppy tried to hide, but it was too late. First the Rook King found Kipper. What have we here? Said the Rook King. What have we here? Said the Rook King in his scary voice. A scarecrow? Is anyone scared? He laughed. The other rooks all called with laughter. Then he found Wilma in her costume. A cat, he said. Floppy's mouth was too dusty to bark. Croak was all could he manage. A frog, cried the Rook King, still laughing. Then he saw Chip. What are you? No, nothing, said Chip. Then nothing it is, the Rook King shouted. The Rook King waved his magic staff. Suddenly Wilma had turned into a cat. Floppy was a frog and Kipper was a scarecrow, stuck in the middle of a field. But where was Chip? I'm sure the farmer will be glad to see you, said the Rook King. Or not, to see you in case Mr. Nothing. The rooks cawed loudly, then flew away. Where are you, Chip? Called Wilma, looking around. I'm here. I'm invisible, wailed Chip. All Wilma could see was an empty corn sack waving in the air. Wilma didn't like this. What does he mean? The farmer, she said. A face appeared from behind some old oil drums. The farmer had been hiding, too scared to help. He said the Rook King had cast a spell on him, too. It didn't matter how many rooks the farmer scared away. There were always more, and they were eating all his crops. He sat down looking very sad. Can we help? Asked Wilma. Only if you can get the Rook King's magic staff. Then he'll lose his powers, replied the farmer. Said Wilma. Let's go and tell Kipper. On the field, Kipper the scarecrow wasn't scaring the rooks at all. I'll have a go, said Wilma, but the rooks just laughed at her. Caw, caw, caw. Nothing ever works, moaned the farmer. Chip was listening. Nothing, he thought. The Rook King said I was nothing. Maybe this time nothing will work. So Invisible Chip ran around the field shouting at the rooks. Over here, he cried, but of course the rooks couldn't see who was shouting. Soon they got very confused and flew away. You did it. Thanks, Chip, said Wilma, but the rooks were soon back. Only way to stop them is to get the Rook King's staff, said the farmer. Chip had fought hard. I have an idea, he cried. Sow some seeds over there to attract the rooks, he told the farmer. Floppy, you keep a lookout. Croak if you see the king. Chip and Wilma got some old netting and string from the scrap heap while the farmer sowed more seeds. Then tied one end of the netting of a tree and the other end to Kipper. Then all they had to do was wait. Soon the rooks flew down to eat the seeds. "Now!" yelled Chip. The farmer and Chip pulled the string. The rooks were caught in the netting. "Come on out, Rook King," cried Chip, "and come and rescue your rooks." The Rook King swooped down from the sky. Suddenly Wilma sprang in front of him. The Rook King tripped and fell into the net. "I command," he started, waving his magic staff, but he watched in horror as the staff flew out of his hand. Invisible Chip snatched it. "No, I command you," Chip said, using the staff's magic powers. There was a flash of light and all the rooks flew away, with the Rook King trapped in the netting. The children were transformed back into their fancy dress costumes. Chip was visible again. He had the Rook King's staff. The farmer was delighted. "Thank you," he cried. Floppy barked happily. It was good to be a dog again. "You're a hero," Chip shouted. Kipper. Chip blushed. "Do you think so?" he asked. "Yes," replied Wilma and Kipper. Kipper pointed at the key on Floppy's collar. "The key's glowing," he said. "We're going," thought Floppy. Back at the Robinsons' house, it was time to go to the party. Chip had changed his mind and had decided to go after all. He went as the Rook King. Great costume, Chip," Biff said. "But what's that?" Chip grinned. That's my magic staff." Chip and Floppy walked to the car. "Hop in, Floppy," Chip laughed and croaked like a frog. "I suppose he thinks that's funny," thought Floppy. The end.